A cemetery in Lakeshore where dozens of African Canadians are buried will be formally dedicated tomorrow as a heritage site. A plaque will be unveiled tomorrow at the cemetery tomorrow, honoring the resting places of fugitive slaves and their descendants who came to Canada via the Underground Railroad. Dale Molnar has more.
This quiet woodlot just east of the Puce Road doesn't look unique, but when you walk inside, you find the headstone of former slave Lewis Jackson and his wife Mary.
It's probably the only one in Canada that reads born a slave in Kentucky.
It's the only remaining headstone amongst dozens which have been vandalized or damaged over the years. Locals knew about the cemetery, but over the years it became overgrown and neglected. Over the past 2 years, the Lakeshore Black Heritage Committee raised $2,500 and, along with a matching donation from the town of Lakeshore, restored the site to be preserved for future generations.
My Pippi a long time ago told me stories about this as I was growing up, and to this day my children as well are learning the same history as I learned.
Brian John Chauvin lives next door. He, along with Murray Kennedy, who lives across the road, did most of the work to clean up the site, including fixing the grave marker.
Well, we found it one time it was just on the ground. Somebody knocked it over and just left it there, and then we put it back on. Brian re-cemented it.
We have a lot to be thankful for our ancestors, and this is one way of paying respect to them.
The former slaves buried here were brought to Canada by the Refugee Home Society, led by abolitionist Henry Bibb and his wife Mary. They were part of the Puce River Black community that lived in Maidstone Township during the 1800s.
These are the footings of the old church, the BME church.
They attended the British Methodist Episcopal Church, which used to stand on this site, along with an African Methodist Episcopal Church. Lewis Jackson was once the pastor of the BME Church. Local Underground Railroad historian Brian Walls grew up next to the cemetery and has an ancestor buried here. He says recognizing these sites are important to Canada's heritage.
Any opportunity to bring out Canada's legacy of peace, harmony, and tolerance of differences of others.
Members of the Ontario Heritage Trust and local dignitaries will unveil a plaque here at the site tomorrow morning. Visitors are welcome, but they're being bused from the Freeman Walls historic site on Puce Road nearby. Dale Molnar, CBC News, Lakeshore.